Now that you've been through part 1 and you have gone through all of the independent isolated movement patterns, you've done the exercises either to strengthen, to stretch, you've put the TheraBand training into work, you've done the floor exercises, you've strengthened your core. What we're going to do now is transfer each of those training aids into functional skills in the saddle. I just want to go through each of the paces. Now the walk is a 4-beat movement. The horse has 3 legs on the ground and 1 in the air, and we count 1, 2. Now we count 1, 2 because 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 is too quick. The 4-beat movement causes a lateral tilt in your pelvis. So when we go through the walk lesson, you will learn how to be in rhythm with the stepping of the horse's hind legs. As he steps, moves forward, your pelvis will come up and go with it. The other side will drop, so you will have this lateral tilt rolling movement. So the walk is a 4-beat movement. Now the trot is a 2-beat movement, and it occurs on the diagonals. Now the rise trot, obviously we lift with one of those diagonals and then we sit. At the sit trot, we stay in the saddle, so there's no transfer of weight. Now the sitting trot is the most difficult pace to ride. It's got an impact. Now if we don't absorb that impact of the 2-beat through our core, then we tend to get rigid and upright, and we block the movement of the 2-beat movement. We block it through our pelvis, and that's why a lot of people cannot ride the sitting trot. So when we go through those dust storms and fill up the camera with dust, it's wonderful. Rise trot, we transfer weight from our feet to the seat, to our feet, to our seat. So we are moving forward with that diagonal movement. The sitting trot is quite a different pace to ride, not because the pace is different, but because our transfer of weight and the absorption of that jarring movement is only through our seat. You have to be able to allow your pelvis to absorb that movement with your core engaged. Now that's the biggest problem a lot of people have when they are sitting trot, is that they tend to take the weight through their stirrups, through their feet, and they block their pelvis. So they're continually jarring. Now when we get to the sitting trot movement, you'll understand the process. We take the weight through the seat and in that direction, not through the feet. So the 4-beat movement at the walk, the 2-beat movement at the trot are 2 very different paces to ride. Now the canter is a 3-beat movement, and it's also the only pace that is asymmetrical, because 3-beat is asymmetrical. What happens at the canter is your inside hip bone will follow the movement of the horse's hind leg, and that will tend to throw you off center a little bit. Now as much as the canter is a beautiful pace to ride, a lot of people are unable to keep their weight heavy in their saddle, or not heavy but in the saddle, and they get tipped forward. As the horse rounds his back, you have to be able to follow with your pelvis, counter follow with your shoulders, so that you've got this continuous movement like this that makes you appear still. So the walk is 4-beat, the trot is 2-beat, and the canter is 3-beat, and the canter is the only asymmetrical movement. Now that will make sense as we go through each of the lessons.